Hi everybody, welcome back to my inconsistent channel. Thank you for tuning in. Today's video is gonna be a little bit honest, and I don't know if I will upload it now. I just wanted to document somehow the process of me getting diagnosed with ADHD as an adult. So in this video, I want to go through why, like what led up to me getting diagnosed. I'm currently still in the process. I've gotten a diagnosis, but I have to do another test. I will get back to that. So I don't want to dwell or make this video too long. It's probably going to be long, just so you know, longer than usual, because there's a lot to say. So I want to go through why, how I got diagnosed. I live in Spain, so if that can help anyone living here, that's great. I just have experience with my own steps, how I did it, so I will share that. And also my thoughts about getting the diagnosis, because this was kind of shock. Not shock, but like when you get diagnosed with ADHD, you get all this kind of feelings and it's kind of that you understand so much about yourself that you never understood before, and it's profound. For me, it's such an eye-opener. So I'm gonna start with the reason why I decided to go to a psychologist in the first place. This is my first time ever going to therapy. I'm 36 years old. I'm gonna be 37 in May. And I was doing research about different things and symptoms for my son, who is 7, who had to repeat first grade for various reasons. He's doing well, but he was struggling with some things, and as a mom, you just read everything you can about those things and how you can help your son. So we have been with him to the doctor before because he had some tics, which have passed for now. He can still get tics when he gets excited. He can get very strong, like vocal tics. So for example, before his birthday, he had very strong breathing tics for about a week because it was so exciting. Soon as the birthday passed, the tics passed. He was done with it. But I can make a video about that another day. So we had him in for evaluation a couple of years ago for Tourette's because of the tics. You usually just think about Tourette's when you hear tics. And he was young, so we decided to just wait it out, and he got better because this was in the middle of the pandemic, so he was stressed, of course. And often with kids, they get tics when they are excited or stressed or some new changes or stuff. And so many kids have tics, and usually they pass in most cases. So we just thought like it will pass, and it did. We moved to the countryside, and he's outside, and he gets to use his body and burn a lot of more energy than before. So his tics got so much better. So we kind of just forgot about it for a while because he seemed happy. And then we've gotten some feedback from school about certain things, that he's very dreamy, that he doesn't pay attention, and that he can't finish tasks that his classmates finish. So he's repeating first grade now, and he's doing so well, and we are very happy that he was repeating, actually, because he was born late in the year. So for him and his maturity level, it was best to repeat anyway. So my point is, without talking too much about my son, he's the reason why I decided to go and test myself, because I realized ADHD came up when I was researching about him, and I was going through all these questions and I doing online tests. I realized like I am very much ADHD, and I have been for my whole life, as far as I can remember. When I think back on my childhood and work experiences and studying, I can make a video about me trying to get an education, but that is sad, so I don't know if I want to. And I was like, maybe I should just start with myself, get myself checked out, and if I have ADHD, because my son is still just 7, and I read that you must have these symptoms on a regular basis until you are 12, before you can get a diagnosis or something. So I talked to the psychologist when I finally went there, and she said, yeah, that's a good way to go about it. Actually, you can start with yourself, and then we can have a talk with your son also after a while. But leading up to me going to the psychologist was so nerve-wracking, because I always felt in my adult life that there was something wrong with me. I'm gonna try not to get emotional, but this have been kind of emotional for me to realize that it's not my fault that I was never able to finish an education. I've tried like 5 different educations. I've wasted so much time and money and student loan and student debt. And I have nothing to show for. And so many times in my life, I have felt straight out like a failure. And I've talked to my mom so many times, like, I don't have a purpose. I don't know what to do with my life. And I would get panicked, like, why can't I just get an education? Why is it impossible for me to start and finish something that I'm genuinely into? I wanted to become a hairdresser. I wanted to become a clothes designer. I wanted to become like an entrepreneur. I started an economy bachelor. I started medicine because in a private uni, because I wanted to become a nutritionist. I was so into working out, and I was like, this must be my passion, like, and I started and I gave up, and in the end I did a lot of self-help, soul searching, and I just accepted that I was not made for university. I was like, okay, I'm just a practical kind of girl. I don't fit into like the academic society. I will be happy working in a supermarket or a clothing shop, like, as long as I'm happy and I have good colleagues, and kind of accepted that I'm a failure, like, in my eyes, and I convinced myself that I was fine with that. I was like, okay, that's just how I am. That's fine. Like, everyone doesn't have to have a bachelor or a master's. And I was always like, never envious or jealous, but I would tell my friends, like, wow, you have a master's in this. Oh, you have a bachelor. Like, I admire you so much for being able to actually just sit down and study and become something, because I don't have that ability. And It's a bit emotional, to be honest, because when I went to the psychologist and I was expressing all of this, and I was so nervous, like I almost had like anxiety attack because I was scared of being judged by the psychologist for making an excuse for not, like she would tell me somehow I was lazy or something. And when she didn't, because this was my first time going to therapy in any way, or a psychologist or anything, I've always tried to just help myself with self-help methods, meditation, Tony Robbins, doing webinars, improving myself. And that's fine. It's good. But I don't think that was enough for me. Because I was expecting the psychologist to just like, no, you are wrong. Like, this is just anxiety, or you know, this is not ADHD. You just have to focus, or like you hear time and time again with ADHD, like, and also I told her, like, because I'm 36 years old, I don't have my driver license. I'm like depending on my husband to drive me everywhere, or my parents-in-law to bring me the kids, drive us here and there, and it's exhausting. So I decided to, for the second time in my life, to try to start driver license. Well, the third time, I also tried in Norway, like 18 years ago. But I didn't finish. I didn't do that. And I tried again here a few years ago, 6 years ago. I started, I paid for the deposits, I got a thing for the tests, I did some tests and I gave up. It just disappeared. It's like, it didn't become of anything. And now I've signed up again, and I'm a bit further this time. I've done the class, I'm doing the tests sometimes when my husband reminds me, hey, maybe you should do some tests. Come on, because he is supportive. He wants me to manage to get the driver license. And also my work is kind of depending of me getting my driver license. So the pressure is there. I just can't seem to do it. So I'm nervous about the driver license, and also to perform and function at work. I have a job that gives me a lot of freedom. If I do my work, I can pretty much decide my own work day. And that's good. I'm lucky. And the pay is really good if I do my job. And there's just so simple thing. I have to do this, that every day. And it's starting to slip. I'm starting to not being able to function at work. I realized I have some talks with my boss about it, my employer, and very understanding. So for both my work that I love my job that I have, and I want to be able to accomplish some things that everyone else can do. And when I told her this, and I told her my fears, and I just accept that I'm a person that I'm not able to study, and she said to me, well, maybe you can, like, you just didn't know there is actually help for you. I got very emotional, and I'm getting emotional now as well, because I will not cry. There is just this relief that, because I know I'm not dumb. I know. Okay, I will try to go through this video without editing too much, but if I start to like ugly cry, I will fucking edit that out. But it was just such a relief that she understood me, because I was expecting the worst. I was expecting her to like, but you just have to focus, let's go through some focusing techniques and okay. So she told me like, there is help. There is a very simple thing to fix. ADHD is very real. And she was like, there is a big chance that you have it. And there is help, and it's easy. It's not a difficult thing. And if it turns out that you have ADHD, there is medication that will maybe change your life if it works for you. And we can also work on some cognitive therapy with that or without, that's up to you. But there is help, and maybe you want to go to university and then you can do it. And I was like, I don't think I will go to university, but the thing, this is difficult. That she said that was very it just confirmed so much for me. And in like this rush of emotion, I kind of believed in myself, and she said to me that it's not your fault. This is so normal, and there's a lot of people that have these challenges, and I knew that. But before I went there, I couldn't kind of believe that I actually had ADHD, because I had these predetermined opinions about it. And I just kind of thought it would just be about my son. Okay, let's just get it out of the way, like I have it or I don't have it, and I will continue helping my son, like it's about him. And then it turns out that I have all these feelings and possibilities that I just needed someone to tell me, like, you can accomplish so much, and there's an explanation, and you are not being dramatic, and you are not being like what's the name of people that is always thinking that there's something wrong with them, like hypochondria. You are not being hypochondriac, or however you say it. I didn't mean to be emotional, but I just suddenly could see so many opportunities for myself, because I knew that I have so many ideas, lists, goals in life that I just accept that I won't never reach. And now someone told me that there is a big possibility that you can get your driver license without struggling so much. Or just function at work without your mind like challenging you so much. Okay, this was very difficult. So yes, I don't know if I will post this video, but I feel like I should, to help. Okay, so let's move on from this emotional stuff. How I went about getting a diagnosis here in Spain. I was Googling. Okay. So I was Googling ADHD in adults, Spain, ADHD specialists, adults in my town. I couldn't find anything. It all came up as sites for kids, and family support for families and stuff. But I wanted like a real specialist in ADHD. Um, I don't know if I have found that, but I found a really good therapist. I contacted a very big um, agency or company that is called Psico Abreu here in Spain, and they have in several towns they have offices. So I wanted one that spoke English because I speak Spanish, but it can be challenging to talk about medical terms and your feelings and express yourself correctly if there's a language that you don't master like 100%. And I speak Spanish, but I just wanted to be confident and know that I could express myself well when I went there. And I was feeling kind of I had low self-confidence when I went there because I thought I would just be this is nothing, just go about it, just continue. Like, I didn't think it would become a thing. And so I contacted them and I said, like, I want to speak to an English speaking therapist. And this super cute lady contacted me a couple of hours later. She was like, I'm going to be there that and that date. And we made an appointment and I went there. So this is a private company. I would recommend, just if you have work and you have money to go to a private psychologist, I would just do that because things take time, especially with diagnosing adults. It's not like a priority, especially during COVID. There is a better chance that you will get diagnosed faster or get an appointment privately. So I would do that. I will put the link for the company in my description. And if you want to DM me, if you live in Spain and you have some questions about the process, you can send me a message on Instagram. I am the same name there as on YouTube, Daily Life of Una. You will find me there. And so I went there and she was so nice to me. I don't know, I was expecting, I never been to therapy before, like I said, or a psychiatrist or anyone professional to talk about, because I never felt I had problems. But when I started researching, I've seen how much it stops me in my daily life, functioning at work, doing my driver license, like keeping in contact with friends, even family. Like my brain is like, if I don't see it, it's not there. So a lot of friends, I think, a friendship have been suffering because of me, because not only me, but a lot of them I know, because I get a message and I'm doing something and I'm like, I'm gonna read it later, and I forget, and it passes a month and I'm like, oh shoot, I was supposed to answer that person, we were supposed to meet up, I never got back to that person. And then I get like anxiety about it and I just wait even longer. And I'm sorry, I'm sniffling so much. I recently just had COVID last week, and again, I'm so sick of that thing. So yeah, just keeping friendships. I even forget to call my mom. It's like out of sight, out of mind. I kid you not, like I'm like that. Just being organized. My clothes are a mess. Like, I manage to remember food, doing laundry, folding the laundry is another thing. I'm masking. I'm masking a lot. I never knew that was a word either until I got into this rabbit hole of ADHD. My emotions, my temper sometimes. It's just a lot when you start to think how much it affects your daily life. And I have a friend, she's a master organizer and planner. She always like plans Christmas months ahead, and she's organized and she starts doing the shopping. I know that's a lot of people don't do that, but I told her so many times, like, I wish I could be as organized as you, and like even half would make my life so much easier. And she just laughs. And I even told my friend, like, when I started to hang out more with her and her family and stuff, I was like, just so you know, I'm a kind of person that interrupts a lot. I'm sorry in advance if you find, because I overheard them one time saying, oh, being interrupted is like the worst thing. And I was like, oh my God, I do that a lot. And I kind of told her and her mom, like, I'm so sorry. If I interrupt you, I don't mean to. It's just my thoughts are always one step ahead, and I don't really do it with intention. And I space out a lot, and I never knew these were things. I always thought ADHD was this hyper kid or kids that bounced off the walls and just like was uncontrollable, like very like the how you say, the typical image of everyone have of an ADHD kid. I thought that too. I never thought it was like this inattentive kind before I started to do the research. And when I started to do the research, I like felt at home in a weird way, but I felt like, okay, this explains so much. And why I haven't been able to be consistent with YouTube videos. And I was hyper focused with my YouTube during lockdown because that was like the exciting thing of my life. I was cleaning all the time, cooking. If you go back on my YouTube channel, you can see that my content have changed. I struggle to find like a direction with my channel, and I don't know where the direction will go now. I will continue doing the reaction videos, but I'm gonna document this process for people that are interested in that. And it's just an exciting time for myself in a way, and my son, because I will be able to help him so much when I think about the struggles I had in my life, in my adult life. If I know about my son, if I knew, how would my life have been? I know I'm smart. I know I have so many ideas. I'm creative. I don't want to brag too much about myself. But these are things I've been telling myself my whole life. Like, why can't I do it? I am smart. I know I'm not dumb. Like, I did IQ test and I'm smart. Like, why can I do these simple things? Why is it impossible for me to do it? So when I have all this knowledge now, and I'm hyper focused on ADHD right now, by the way. I'm just devouring all the information. I can help my son in such ways that it makes me so happy to think about it. If he can have some benefit of me learning this about me, maybe he doesn't have it, but most likely I can do so much for us, for him, and that means the world to me. So I'm gonna keep documenting this process, and hopefully some of you are interested in seeing how he goes. I'm still very early in the process being diagnosed. I do have an appointment in a couple of weeks to talk with a psychiatrist about medication and the steps further, how we're gonna go from now. So if that's interesting, and comment or just write down some questions and stuff, and I will keep it in my next video. Yeah, I'm excited for the future. It's bright. It's always been bright, but like I feel a little bit stronger. I feel a little bit empowered by knowing, even though I don't know exactly what's coming, but just to know makes me feel calm, and that I'm more control of my life again, because I felt like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Where am I going wrong? What am I doing? What is wrong with my brain? There's nothing wrong with my brain. And to realize that it's okay, it's emotional. So guys, I will see you in the next video. If you are still here and you have ADHD, I salute you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.